are now on the 26th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And for our reflection on the readings this Sunday, allow me to share with you 3 points for your consideration. So the first point is this: indifference leads to eternal damnation. Even if we don't do anything bad, we are liable if we do not do anything. If we look at the gospel today, the rich man in our parable wore expensive clothes, designer clothes. He lived in this mansion, and he dined with sumptuous food every single day. Napakasarap ng buhay niya. But note that the wealthy man was not condemned for being wealthy. And the parable doesn't say that he became rich in an immoral or even illegal way. It is very possible that he became rich through legal means, through good means. And this rich man did not even make Lazarus poor. It did not say that this rich man maltreated Lazarus or beat him up or shoo him away. So why was he condemned? The rich man was condemned because he didn't do anything. Yes, he didn't harm Lazarus, but he didn't care about Lazarus. He was indifferent. And so he allowed Lazarus to suffer by himself. This is what we call the sin of omission. No? The sin of commission is something that you do, something bad that you do. But the sin of omission is something that you should have done, but you did not do. So this happens when we have the resources and the ability to help, but we don't. And we see this also in the first reading. The prophet Amos says, "Woe to the complacent in Zion, lying upon beds of ivory, stretched comfortably on their couches. They eat lambs taken from the flock and calves from the stall. They drink wine from bowls and anoint themselves with the best oils. Yet they are not made ill by the collapse of Joseph." So the Israelites are descendants of the 12 sons of Jacob, and Joseph represents their brother, their own family. So what the reading is saying is, while they were indulging and enjoying all these beautiful things of life, they were oblivious to their own brother's collapse and suffering. And such behavior is evil, even shameful. And the gospel reminds us that one day, this situation will be reversed. The suffering will be comforted, and the ones living in comfort will suffer. Usually in banquets or parties, we acknowledge the names of the rich guests. Sinasabi natin, we would like to acknowledge so and so, no? But we never acknowledge the names of the servers, no? The waiters. But in our parable, there is a reversal in the afterlife. Lazarus, who is poor, is named in the gospel. Kilala yung pangalan niya, but the rich man is not. So this should serve as a warning for us not to be complacent, not to be apathetic or indifferent. Remember that this message is not just for politicians with money. It is not just for the rich who live in gated subdivisions. No? Pwede kasi natin sabihin na, ay, para lang sa mga mayayaman yan. No. All of us can become insensitive. All of us can be tempted to think only of what is good for ourselves. You don't have to be rich to be selfish. Naalala ko nung nagkaroon ng community pantries. Nagkaroon ng isang incident which went viral where a group of people went to a community pantry and hoarded all of the eggs for themselves. So, sinasabi nila kailangan namin, but they were indifferent to the others who also needed food. Remember, the opposite of love is not hate, but indifference. And our help need not be a lot. It can be crumbs for you, but it can be a matter of survival for others. So it is good to ask ourselves, what good am I neglecting to do to the poor and needy? The second point for us is this. The ones who need help, kindness, and understanding are the people nearest to us. If you note that in the gospel, Lazarus was not in some far-flung slum area, but Lazarus was right there at the gate of the rich man's house. Napakalapit, no? Siguro, dumungaw lang sa bintana, yung rich man, nakikita na niya si Lazarus. And this is important for us to note. No? In front of us, there is sorrow to be comforted, need to be supplied, pain to be relieved, but we are often blind to it. Sometimes we put between us a man-made abyss or chasm of indifference. Naglalagay tayo ng space between us and others. And this abyss continues in the afterlife. That's why Abraham says, between us and you, a great chasm is established to prevent anyone from crossing who might wish to go from our side to yours or for your side to ours. Sinong nagsimula ng chasm na yon, ng abyss na yon? Tayo. When we put a distance between us and others. So while on earth, the rich man never sees Lazarus. He never sees the misery of Lazarus. He is blind. In the parable, when the situation is reversed, when now the rich man is in torment, it is only then that he sees Lazarus for the first time. But it is too late. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, we really need to open our eyes. Minsan, yung mga taong kailangan ng tulong at malasakit, nandyan lang sa tabi-tabi. Halimbawa, yung nanay natin, siya ay nagluluto, hirap na hirap sa pagluluto. Pero tayo ay nanunood lang ng Netflix, nakataas ang paa, di man lang tumutulong sa kanya. Or sometimes, our mother will be cleaning the room. We don't even help in the cleaning. Nagko-contribute pa tayo sa kalat. So that is being insensitive. Or meron tayong kapatid na OFW, nagpapadala ng pera, hirap na hirap magtrabaho. Tinitiis ang lungkot sa ibang bansa. Nagpapadala para sa tuition at pag-aaral. Pero nilulustay lang natin sa gaming. O minsan, meron tayong kaibigang may sakit, nalulungkot, natatakot, pero hindi man natin binibisita, kinakamusta, o pinagdarasal man lang. My dear brothers and sisters, charity begins at home with the people nearest to us. And so it is good to ask ourselves, who are the people around me who I need to notice as needing help? Our third and last point is this. We can only help save our loved ones while we are alive. You know, my dear brothers and sisters, all of us will die one day. Just this morning, I officiated 2 funeral masses. One for an 84-year-old man and another for a 9-year-old boy. Hindi natin masabi kung kailan tayo tatawagin ng Panginoon. But once our lives in this earth are over, there is no reincarnation, no rerun, no second take, because we only have one life to live. And so let us seize the moment to set our ways and relationships right. And we need to do it now, for we will never be in a position to alter them in eternity. We see this in the parable today. The rich man who was in torment, he wanted to help his brothers. But it was too late because he already died. And so we must help our loved ones get to heaven now. We must teach them to respect and honor the prophets, the saints, and Christ. Because if we disregard and ridicule the Gospels now, it shall be of no use to call Jesus Lord, Lord, when it is already too late. Minsan, meron tayong mga kamag-anak na nadadiagnose ng isang terminal illness. They feel that the end of their life is near. And so, nagbibilin sila sa kanilang mga kapamilya. O, wag mong pababayaan yung kapatid mo. Ganyan. O, ikaw magmahalan kayo. Yung mga huling habilin, But what if it is a death that is sudden? Paano kung na-heart attack tayo, nagka-stroke, na-aksidente? Then we have no more chance to make people realize what is important in life. That is why it is good to ask ourselves, what do I need to imbibe in my loved ones while there is still time? And so, my dear brothers and sisters, to recap and summarize our 3 points for today. Number 1, indifference leads to eternal damnation. Second, the ones who need help, kindness, and understanding are the people nearest to us. And third, we can only help save our loved ones while we are alive. And so, I leave you with the 3 reflection questions. Maybe after this Mass, when you go home, take some time in silence to reflect and try to answer any or all of these questions. The first question is,